Welcome, one and all.
Okay, so
DAUG. Tonight is a very special night.
indeed, we are. Let's see. I'm going to transition over here to the website. See, this is where we are on the web. All right, website, and we are definitely streaming. So very excited that it's actually working this time. So if you are new to the Dallas After Effects user group, then following us on YouTube, go ahead and subscribe so you can get the content every month. And on the web, we are over here, facebook.com/groups/DallasAEUG. That's where you can find it. In this meeting, we're going to talk about content-aware fill. But first, Jeremy has offered up a challenge for us to do the Eye of Sauron.
Hey, Trent, do you know how to say the ring verse in black speech?
No, but I don't think I want to know. I'm going to transition over here to the desktop, and we're going to pull up our movies.
Awesome.
Here we go.
It
All
is
right.
time.
So everybody look at our movies here, and I think Jeremy gets to vote.
Ooh.
I think Jeremy gets to vote here.
Yeah, so I've backed out because I have to give this prize to somebody else.
Right?
Oh, wow.
But this is mine.
Yeah, very nice.
Nice.
Thanks.
This is Fractal Noise.
Yep. I used my custom-made fire element that I showed you guys from some time ago, and I just manipulated that and created this.
Yeah, man. Very
Oh,
good.
well done.
So every single bit of this was made entirely from scratch.
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah, I like it. I like how it's got the waves kind of
Yeah,
here.
kind of crispy. Yeah.
Very good.
So
All right, here we go.
So,
Now, I'm not gonna tell you who this is
okay.
because I don't want you knowing who it is to sway the voting.
All right. So this is entry number 1.
Very nice. Very nice.
We're gonna loop it here so you can see it again.
Concealed within his fortress, the Lord of Mordor sees all. His gaze
Points for the,
pierces clouds, shadow, earth.
Points for the hold on. Points for the castle.
Yeah.
Yes,
Actual
definitely.
building.
Point for the castle. That's beautiful.
Building out down. Got some lens flares going on.
Yeah.
Time lapse clouds in the background.
Man, that's good.
I like the way it captures the light.
Yeah. So that's entry 1. We'll just see if we can remember what's what. Which entry is it? This is entry number 2.
I like it's great.
All right.
Man, I am loving
I like
these.
the glow.
Yeah, I like the
Entry number 3 here. Oh yeah, the eyeball's moving even. Very good.
Kind of trippy.
All right. And entry number 4.
Ooh.
Flaming fire. All right.
Nice job with those flames.
Yeah.
So here we go. I think, Jeremy, that one is yours.
Yeah,
correct?
that one's
Okay.
mine.
So I'll load these up. And we will. Oh no! Wait, we can do it like this. There, you just see the thumbnail. All right. So it is 1, 2, 3, 4.
Time to place your votes.
1, 2, 3, 4.
I think the one on the top left is not really. It doesn't look that much like an eye, really.
Okay. So then 1, 2, and 3. What do you think?
Anybody?
One
Weird.
seems to capture it the best, for
Yeah.
me. But
Okay.
Okay.
I agree.
I'm gonna toss up between one and 2 there.
Yeah.
I liked the glowing on the columns on number 2, but the whole 3D environment thing on number 1 was pretty awesome.
Yeah.
well, the execution too. I mean,
Yeah.
if you were to just go with the effect itself, I mean, that one went on the head. I mean, all of them have somewhat similar elements, but as far as like carrying off the full-on eyes sort of setup, I mean, I do like the dark spot in the middle in particular, and the way that the flames are kind of moving out to the sides.
Yeah.
I mean, this one is just cool, just beautiful. This one is just
The way they're dressing on it is
cool.
Yeah. All right. Do we have a winner?
I think that's
That's
the winner.
what I'll go with.
All right.
So
Who?
I have to give praise to the others, though.
Okay. Praise to the others.
I do really like the way that eye looks. It's good, and that background, man. And so it all comes together. So those two are the top contenders.
Yeah.
So I say I'm gonna give it to this one. This is the winner.
Very good. We have a winner. Now, who wants to come clean? Who is it? Who's the winner?
Who is the lucky guy?
Jason Smith!
Yes! You have won
Thank you. Thank you.
such a prize.
Such a prize, man. All right. We can talk about the prize after the meeting
All right.
if you want. Good job. Good
Thank
job.
you so much, sir.
Big time challenge. And we'll put the
Very good.
why don't we put the winner of the Eye of Sauron. That's how you spell challenge. Jason Smith, also known as Jason Smith. Jason Smith.
You should put Jason Smith, Lord of Mordor.
Do you want to be Lord of Mordor?
Well, he did win. We did make the best Eye of Sauron tower and everything.
All right, you want to talk a little bit about how you did it?
Yeah, please do share, because that was cool.
Sure.
Yeah.
Hmm?
Sorry. I want to hear a little bit of everybody who made one. But yeah, definitely.
It was X particle.
I can pull it up.
Yeah. X particles and
Where's your model from?
the interwebs.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then, of course, the clouds were just kind of faked in After Effects.
Mhm.
The glowiness and the flare was After Effects, and the tower and the flames were two different passes, so that was all composited in After Effects.
Nice.
But the flame part was flow fields that were controlling the flow of fire in X particles. So
Very good. From Cinema 4D.
some of Cinema 4D. Yeah.
Very good.
Oh, rendered in. It was actually rendered in. Redshift. Yeah, Redshift. I did one in Cycles 4D, but I didn't like it as much as the Redshift.
Very cool.
And there is a open VDB of that. If you'd like to play with it, I'll give it to you. Give you a link.
That's cool. Though I will tell you, I don't have Cinema 4D. All I have is After Effects
And Blender.
and Blender.
And you can use the Open VDB in Blender.
Okay,
Yeah.
sounds like a plan.
Yeah, I'll send you a link.
Thank you.
So for mine, I wonder if I have to go out to, yep, so all of my content is on a drive that I might not be able to access right now because I can't see the network. So I'll have to tell you about mine in theory, not show it to you. I used some smoky effects, smoky renders. Oh, sorry. This one.
So that was yours. That was great.
Man, I used some Pixabay images for the background.
Nice.
And then from Andrew Kramer, he had some, oh, good thing I rotated it. He had some smoky, like orb type things for one of his magical After Effects project downloads. Just a little bit of white smoke on black. And so I comped that together all up the edge here, and then
how
just
did you-
mirrored it.
And how did you make the two pyres of Baradur?
Yeah.
Those are, actually I might be able to show you how I made those. Those are, so I have this mountain from two different parts of a photo. And then I kind of stretched it up and warped it a little bit. And then I did a bunch of effects on it. So I did a bevel alpha to get the depth. And then fractal noise to add some definition to it, some rockiness. And then a colorama, Bezier warp, make it a little more like a tower. Nice. Hue saturation, and then fast box blur to soften the edges a tiny bit. And then it is just mirrored over here. And I did CC glass with a light to get the little bit of a flicker on there. So if I move the light around, you should be able to see.
Nice.
Light move. Did a little flicker on that. And that's just the background back there.
I ran out of time to put a little flicker on my light.
Because you were spending all your time rendering. I used some Bezier warp and some other stuff for each of the eyes. Bezier warp and mesh warp, I think, to get them to do what they were supposed to do.
That's awesome.
Looks pretty good with the bars on there.
Yeah.
So there you go. That's what I did. All right.
Could I see mine one more time, just please?
Yeah.
Thanks.
Whose was the?
Yeah, Jeremy.
Yeah, who is that?
Tim?
Todd.
The green one? Yeah.
That was good. That was nice.
Appreciate it. I kind of had to throw it together.
It's impressive. Jeremy.
Yeah.
It's really nice, Jeremy. I like
Yeah.
it. I like the flames, man.
That one was really well done.
Yeah.
All right, so Todd, where did
Thank
you?
you.
Your
And-
flames are from.
So how'd you do that? How'd you?
I mean, you're the only one who was bold enough to move the eye around.
Yeah, man.
Well, the eye thing is actually kind of a simple deal. If you go on ahead and throw a bulge modifier across it, and then start shifting the eye, you can go on ahead and kind of reproportion your iris until it looks good at the default state. But then as you're shifting it left and right, it'll go on ahead and it'll do this little deform thing like it's moving along the surface.
Yeah.
And so it was easy enough to go on ahead and put that through an expression modifier. Left right works fine. Up down not so much. And once it gets off the edge, you really need to mask that because it just because it kind of falls off. The center effect was actually a flame wave that I did, and it was basically started out in particular.
Mhm.
Went on ahead and had a series of like a wave of attached to a layer emitter, and then had
Okay.
it go on ahead and release a bunch with a negative gravity, and then went on ahead and incorporated a noise behind it to go on ahead and start pulling things out. And then once that was done, you had kind of a gradient behind it. Went in with tritone and went with red through yellow to go on ahead and set that up, and then started layering glows across the top of it, also with a little bit of smaller particles to go on ahead and kick up.
Yeah.
As kind of a secondary thing, and then
I like
took
this
the
little
polar
stuff.
coordinates.
This little stuff out here. Little extra little dingles just pop out.
Yeah, did a polar coordinates on it, and then kind of roughened up the edges, and then did like a spherized thing across the top with a little bit of that hot spot up there is actually just a couple of shape layers layered across the top of each other with a little Gaussian blur, just to kind of give it a hot spot. So it's like the orb, when he's lifting up the orb in Saruman's chambers.
Oh
So
yeah, the Palantir.
If he had realized it was the Palantir, you probably would have won. So.
by that much, but the better man won. I can get behind the winner.
I still remember that scene where Aragorn had it.
Mm-hmm.
He was holding it, and he was like
Showing off the sword.
showing off the sword.
All right, good job, everybody. Good job.
Good job, everybody.
A lot of fun. A lot of different techniques were used, and it was very exciting. If anybody still wants to do something, you can. You won't win the gift prize,
Won't win a prize.
but
I'm just gonna say it's whatever it is. It's heavy, so you gotta Jeremy, thank you.
It's really, really something. Wait till you see it.
It's really something. I can't wait.
all right. So, you know what I was gonna do? No, you don't know what I was gonna do because I didn't tell you.
Tell them about it.
I shot some stuff at the restaurant tonight, and I was going to drop it over here on my computer, maybe, or Jason's iPhone.
Next month's composite challenge.
Well,
There you go.
this was going to be for
You don't have the bars fit set.
the Game of Thrones. I do not watch the Game of Thrones,
Neither do I.
but the Game of Thrones had a couple of oops moments in the last couple of weeks.
Oh, because of the water bottles.
Yeah,
and
people
Starbucks.
people had Starbucks cups and water
How in
bottles
the world?
in their scenes.
Whoops. And they
And-
didn't really remove them. Really?
So what I did is
Are you downloading?
we have something that we can use anyway, but
Oh, for content aware.
for content aware.
Oh, that's a good idea.
I sent.
It's so funny that they don't. You
All
know
the
that
other
they don't-
CG that's in there.
Yeah, you know that they saw that in post. It's like they can make a dragon
Yeah.
and all this other stuff, but I've never understood bloopers now. Yeah.
Yeah.
uh,
I wonder if it's maybe
a
a-
lot more interest.
Yeah.
Honestly.
A
I mean-
total talking point, I guess, for
As if the finale wasn't enough. It's
Yeah.
like, oh
Yeah.
yeah, check this out.
maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
maybe
Then
we
everybody's
can
getting-
drum up a little bit of interest
yeah.
in the final season if we do
Yeah.
this. Okay, so what I'm going to do first of all is load up my terminal, and I'm going to change my directory to my assets folder, and I'm going to do ffmpeg. I'm going to give it the bottle movie. I'm going to tell it that I want it to be the codec for video to be libx264. I want it to be PIX format YUV 420p. And I want it to be called, oh no, that's not what I want to do. I want to do ProRes. That's why I'm doing this in the first place. ProRes. And then I want profile V, that's a video, that tells it which ProRes profile to be. And that's going to be the ProRes 422. I don't know if I have to do PIX format on this. 420p, and it'll be bottle ProRes dot movie. And go, and it'll run through that. You can see over here. Now I have a ProRes movie. I could have put an audio null on the end of that. So what I want you guys to know is that you don't have to spend all day loading up media compressor or whatever it is, Adobe Media Encoder, to get yourself a movie that is easier to use in After Effects. I talk about ffmpeg a lot, and I want you guys to just know that it exists and know that it's helpful. It can be awesome for you. It takes a little bit of a learning curve because it is in the terminal, but it is definitely wonderful. So if you want to talk more about it,
Is there lots of tutorials online? 'Cause
there are some tutorials, but there are also a lot of, like, I want to do this with it, and Stack Overflow will have a bunch of answers on how to do either the thing you're looking to do or get kind of close to it. Just a few modifications. All right, so here we go. We're going to try this guy out. We're going to try and remove this bottle from the scene.
Get out of here, bottle.
All right. So in order to use content aware fill, we're going to load up our content aware fill pane over here.
First, I thought that was like a 3D thing. The lighting's so even.
Yeah, it does kind of look.
It looks a little phony.
I'm going to get my mask tool and do kind of a roughish mask around here, like that. And the bottle.
Capturing part of the shadow.
Yeah, part of the shadow as well. So what I want to do to make sure that I know what's going on throughout the shot, I'm just going to turn my mask to none here and set my keyframe for my mask path. I'll come over here like this, and you can see that there's maybe a little bit of a light shift in there that might throw us off. But then I'm going to take my mask and just kind of readjust it over here. Like so. And then if I do a subtract, you'll see that my bottle is gone over here. This is what the mask needs to look like. If you do add, it does that. That is not what you want. You want subtract. But let's make sure we're set up all the way through. So I'm going to go halfway. Scoot some things. A little bit. I don't want that guy. there's a little bit of fine tuning that you have to do. There's a little bit of just paying attention to what's going on that you have to do. And my mask technique that I use for stuff like this is to just do the move, and let's see if After Effects is going to freeze on me. Hopefully it won't. Do like some broad sweeping keyframes, and then go in and fine tune as needed.
Now, is there a way to track the points on the table?
I could probably track it. Well, let's do a couple different ways. So you can have some different thoughts for when you're gonna try and do this. All right, so there's my mask. Basically does a reasonable job there. And I'm going to turn it to subtract. And I'm going to save, just in case, and generate fill layer. Now it is analyzing. So while it's analyzing, I'll talk about some other things we could do. We can maybe do even mask tracker. So maybe we'll try that in a sec. We can do possibly a 3D camera track and put something in the scene that then kind of covers the bottle as it goes by, and that could be our mask. But
I guess
it definitely needs a mask.
this function doesn't come with my version, does it?
No, it does not. You are correct. I'm very sorry. Maybe someday you'll be able to upgrade.
Yeah.
Computer and After Effects. Hoping that will happen.
Well, I have got a custom-built computer that is the envy of most gamers.
All right. So now all you need is just the latest version of After Effects, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I don't know what to tell you right now. So let's see. There, you maybe could use. If you're trying to get fancy with it, super fancy, you might be able to drop like a bottle from C40 Light in there on the table, and then track, do auto trace, and use the alpha channel or luminance channel, and then auto trace your mask out for you.
You can still use content aware fill in Photoshop. I presume that's in CS6, right?
I'm not sure when content aware fill came into Photoshop.
I mean, for video, it would be very fun to.
No,
You're back to
I don't.
rose,
Yeah, I
don't
don't
you?
think it would work. It'd probably be too flashy, too jittery.
Yeah, but for something like this, it probably.
I mean, we could just separate the table out
Yes.
and use the table to just put it back on itself
Yeah.
in 3D. Yeah.
Now, is it possible to, forgive me if you already suggested this, but is it possible to track each point of the mask? Each, Bezier point or whatever? Like, to the table? Since the table has a texture, it seems like it might be able to, pin it to that. I don't know if that's an option or not.
Yeah, I don't know. So you would want to use a track point for each of the mask points.
Yeah.
And theoretically, you could use nulls to paths, maybe.
Okay.
So track with your nulls and then use nulls to paths.
It's probably doable, but probably a lot of work.
It'd be much simpler just to,
I mean,
It seems like it'd be easier
Frame
just to go ahead and trace the surface and then take that into Photoshop and get it down to a 4-point, to a square, and then track that to a
Yeah.
plane, and then put it right back on top of the, right back on top of the footage. It didn't look, so much like the boggle was necessarily all that much outside of the.
Right. It
Yeah.
doesn't drift outside the table.
If it was more of a profile thing, it would be a bit more of an issue, but with this shot particularly.
I'm hoping I did a little bit of
I like that idea.
an Adobe trick where you just use the footage that works best in the scenario.
Right.
And don't jump out of that. We can go look. I don't know if I did a render yet of it. No, I don't think I did. What we're using is, go ahead.
Oh, if the content aware fill works, then the mask doesn't need to be that accurate. So
Yeah.
therefore,
Yeah.
it's I mean, when
It's the key
when
for
it works, it's
works
awesome.
great.
It works
Yeah.
great, and a rough trash map would work.
So this is the shot we're going to be working with in just a minute. And the idea here was to have the car coming through the shot and then go into some kind of portal. Blue. And so after the shot, or after the car goes away, the shot's going to keep moving. And that would mean the car would be gone from the shot. So that's the goal for that particular part of this situation. And I did not realize that the analyze was going to take forever on this. Do you guys want to wait on this or move forward?
Fix 4.
Has anybody else used content aware fill yet?
I used it once.
What were you using it for?
It was, I downloaded some footage from like Vidivo or one of those free sites, you
Yeah.
know, and gosh, I can't remember what I removed, but
Just something.
yeah, it was like a, oh, I know what it was. It was they threw up this footage up there because it was a drone. It was a pretty decent drone shot, but there was a shadow. It cast a pretty substantial shadow.
Oh, from the
on a-
drone.
on a cornfield like that thing, and so I just followed the mask along that, and I thought, you probably could have used a little bit of cleanup, but most people aren't being that attentive when they're watching web video, and I think that's the great thing about something like this is you don't, we're not going for, it's not being broadcast in ultra 4K. It's just somebody might watch it, like if you're doing a YouTube ad or something like that. I mean, imagine how quickly you can look at it. And I thought for a one pass, just playing around, I thought it looked pretty dang good.
Particularly with
Cool.
a lot of motion work to it, it'd be easy to
Yeah, exactly.
So far, so good. I'll tell you guys that I think it's pretty fun to go to Pixabay and try and find
And I might have gotten video off of
videos.
Pixabay.
It's amazing what you can get for free.
Yeah, I do.
So there's your car in a field.
Lots of free footage.
Congratulations, the search worked.
Something like that.
And I mean, have you ever been to Vidivo? Vidivo. It's another free site.
VIDE. We are not men. We are Vidivo. Like that?
Yeah. Yeah.
We'll
So
look
there's.
there.
And then I go to Pexels. PEXELS.
Pixels good too.
Anyway. But yeah, it's just one of those drone shot kind of like that. It's good stuff.
Hey guys, look, it's a drone shot.
It's an actual drone. I was wanting to use that one there and get rid of those cars.
Yeah.
I don't know, or do something kind of cool with it.
Search. Oh man, that might be cool to do. Like this kind of thing.
to say, I think
Get rid of that guy.
Boris.
Oh.
Boris Continuum used to have an effect called motion key or something. So if something was moving in the frame,
Mhm.
it would analyze it and remove whatever was moving. So,
Oh yeah.
but I never really found a good. I never really needed to use it. That looks pretty cool.
All
This
right.
is brilliant.
Here we go. Now, it looks a little bit wobbly.
Yeah.
Up in this area here, it looks kind of like a Magic Eye poster.
Yeah, there's a little.
It looks like a little
It's a
indentation.
little deeper than the rest of it.
Yeah.
There's some bit of light thing going on too there for a second.
Yeah, when it hits, I think maybe I passed in front of it.
But
Oh,
That's-
or maybe something outside past the window.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's something you have to pay really pretty close
man,
attention.
that's
You know,
pretty
Yeah.
good.
like
Now, if
you're
we're gonna
doing
if we were putting something else in the shot on the table, maybe then
You can get away with that.
get
yeah.
away with it.
something,
There's also a possibility of maybe tracking the shot. But anyway, what we want to look at now is the car. So what I'm going to so I showed you how to do this, right? I showed you how. Do you all agree that I showed you?
Oh yes, you did.
I'll show you what the plan for this. I'm not going to go all the way through. I'm just going to put all the ingredients in the cake and then pull it out of the oven for you guys. So to track this car, we could, let's see, let's do a John Begg special here. So I'm going to pull up. Track the motion on the car. Like this. It's right here.
Some good light and dark sections.
And then we'll see if it'll track for us.
It says, was this shot with a pretty fast shutter? Because I don't see much motion blur or anything.
Yeah, I don't know if there's much motion blur. Even I think when the car gets further over to the side, I don't think there's much motion blur. We'll see if it maintains the track when he starts going out of the frame. That's pretty good. Go a frame at a time there. And then
For a shot like this where you'd have a object moving into the foreground, would it be prudent at some point to, I mean, at what point does it become prudent to go on ahead and track backwards to do the little reverse?
yeah, that's just
tracking?
up to you. Yeah. So I'll here and then I think it'll let me go.
you still got straight. Yeah.
Thanks. And then it should go off of there, but it looks like it's not. We can take care of that. All right, so I have these track points here. And I'll get rid of this stuff. Like that. And probably those guys. So let's just come back to our shot. And we can apply this to, say, maybe a null. Let's make it bigger. target, white solid, okay. And just hit apply, like that. So now the solid pretty much covers the car the whole time, except let's just scale this a little bit. As we get over here. And scale it down back here. So we're not dealing with so much. A little bit of over. And then, oh, I moved it. I don't want to move it. I just want to scale it. Like that. So then what I'm going to do is pre-comp this car mask. Remove all attributes, and I'm going to drop another white in there and just invert it like that. And we'll go back up to the car road 2. Okay, so here's my car mask. I'm going to use layer auto trace. We're going to use luminance and preview it. Work area. And it should show me. Maybe this isn't going to be the most time effective thing. Bum, bum. All right, so it did my mask track there. And then all I need to do is take any of these keyframes that I'm not happy with down here. And just scoot this guy out of the frame like that. So now let's make sure pause the car, and I don't want those to be hold keyframes. Oh, there we go. Now I have a mask that I can apply to the car road like that. All right. So you guys follow what I did there?
So you copied the auto traced mask and just pasted it onto the footage.
Correct. And that's what you want over here in your content aware fill panel. All right. I think I tried to track the mask before and it didn't track very well. So just, you know, on your own time, I'll let you play around with that. All right, so then if we do that and we click this button here, generate fill layer, it runs off and does a thing. And gets rid of the car. Cool. See the car's gone.
Very nice.
That's good. And it looks pretty nice for, I mean, compared to the table.
Yeah.
There's enough visual noise that it finds everything in pretty well.
Yeah. never know there was a car on that
Okay.
road,
Pretty
right?
wild.
So then comes the fun part. I have this energy blast that I was using in a little bit of a test project. So I'll show you what the energy blast looks like. All right. I think it's just fractal noise.
Thank you, Andrew Kramer.
Maybe even a little bit of mirror. Yeah, maybe some mirror. Or what's the other one? Dow, Trico Dow. Okay. So then I tracked with the 3D camera tracker. The car. Let's see. Do I have my track data? No, I don't think I have my track data anymore. I left my car in here as a guide layer. All right, so when it comes back, or when it goes up to the comp here, it doesn't show up because it's a guide layer. And I have a solid here that is a 3D 3D kind of matte because it's cutting into 3D space where I want the ground to be. And then I have another, I think this is a black behind here, so that when the when everything's comped together, you just see the brightness here, all the energy blasts doing their thing, like that, but being cut out. So instead of being a loop like that, they're cut out by the 3D tracked ground. Does that make sense? Okay. And I've got the camera in there that's tracked so that everything sticks to the ground correctly. And turn the car back on. Alright, so now that's the car effects. And then I added a glow and maybe a little bit of a blur. And at some point, when the blast happens, I have the car just go away. And that's only just a fade out of the original clip. Okay. So then we add the blast in there. And I'll show you what it looks like. Everything's fun. What the?
Whoa, man. Whoa. That is.
There you go.
That's cool.
Any questions about content aware fill? Anything you don't understand yet? Think you could do this content aware fill on your own? Okay.
Unfortunately,
I know, Jeremy, I know.
Poor Jeremy.
What I think I would like to do, though, is,
Have the car pop out here.
yep, have the car here. No, have this guy be a little bit better looking from a different technique doing this. So I'll call this content aware. And we'll just put another bottle here like that. And I want the best view of the table, which probably is that right there. So I'm going to locate and pre-comp. So I call this table top. And move all attributes. I'm going to select the table with my number pad hotkey number 1. And I'm going to freeze frame it. And come in here with the mask tool. And just mask the top out like that. Get as close to a square as I can so it, when I go to adjust this, it looks good. So now I can, let's see, what's the best way to do this? Maybe let's get one side about to be straight up and down, like that. And that, I want to just got a lot of things loaded up there. I'm going to go bottle, call this table replace, and tabletop. Let's go with my pre-comps. Now for tabletop, I wonder if I can track my camera on this while I'm working on something else. Let's see. Track camera. Let's go over here to tabletop. And I'm going to use my cropping. Like that. Crop comp to region of interest. I'm going to pre-comp this again. Tabletop angled, and that is not how I want to do that. I want to do leave all. Tabletop angled. All right, like that. Which is it? Does it move all attributes? Because I want to have it be a. Okay, yeah, sorry. It just opened my comp because I told it to open my comp. My bad. All right, so now I'm going to use the. Let's see if corner pins will work for this. This guy is a little goofy, like that. And then maybe let's pre-comp this and call it tabletop corrected. And we'll move all attributes. And then we're going to do tabletop. And this is going to be with the band-aids. So I'm just going to cut out some rough shapes here. Like that. Feather. And see about moving this over to kind of be the band-aid on there. Alright. So I've band-aided that. And now I need to band-aid the bottle.
Be back in a sec, I'm parched.
Okay. it picked the perfect color for the mask. So if you need to change your mask color,
Yeah.
go here. You can make it all kind of crazy colors. That'll be good for that. I do need it to be big enough to cover my bottle. So then I can move that over here and hit F to feather a little bit. Maybe feather a little more. Make sure we don't have the bottle in there. Or if we want to ghost the bottle in, we can do that. Okay, so there's my tabletop. And I believe it would be best if it were square. So I'm going to take all these guys, call them tabletop finished. And let's make this square. 10, 20, no, how big is it? 1264 by 1264. And just square it up like that. And here we are. Oh, we tracked. Man, that's awesome. While I was doing all that work over there,
Yeah.
After Effects was working for me,
Very nice. That's a nice flat.
making me happy. Happy. I'll just find the best place for the tabletop, and we'll do let's do a solid in camera, but I'm gonna do this. Let's grab a few of these. That. Before I do that, I think I will take all of the ones that are involved with the bottle and delete them as much as I can, because that'll help the solve later. So After Effects runs off and puts a feature in, like content aware fill, and then we spend a whole class doing what content aware fill is supposed to be doing for us. All right, so we can make this thing bigger. Let's see, what is the hotkey for that? Oh, I can move it around. That's cool. There we go. Make it bigger, like that. I'm gonna do that one Womack, was it?
No.
Okay.
West Coast client.
He's ready to start his day now, isn't he?
Yeah. Great timing.
Create solid camera. And so there's my solid. I'm just going to align it. Nope. Undo. Z-axis, yeah. Like so. And then I have my tabletop finished. I'll just replace like that. Scale up. Make sure it's in the right spot. Roughly. And all right, what are some thoughts on the napkin over here? Got a napkin I want to get rid of.
You mean how to get rid of it, or
Yeah, what would be, what do you guys think would be a good way?
As bright as it is, I mean, an extract
Mm-hmm.
modifier might help.
That's good. I'll do that. So now I'm going to do my mask here. I'm going to crunch it in a tiny bit and feather it like that. And so we have our table here. We can do a key extract. So of my layer. I think it's the majority of the napkin that I need to be gone. Gets it going. Okay. And then I can duplicate that. I'll just remove my effects and remove my camera effects from up there and use alpha inverted. That. So now my napkin is back. There's a little bit of the bottle there. So I'll just use a linear white. That. There we go.
A little bit of edge cleanup, but that looks really good.
So scoot in a little bit, feather a little bit more. And let's compare a shot of that versus that. There you go.
Good. That's awesome.
Way better than dumb old content aware fill.
yeah, there you go. We'll take that feature out.
Took less time than we analyzed.
Yeah, it did.
Except when I stare at this one, I don't see a dolphin.
So, do you guys watch the Goldbergs? The show about a family in the 1980s. It's basically my childhood. It's really what it is, my childhood. But they did a spin-off show called Schooled, which happens in the 90s. And they did a Magic Eye poster. They had a Magic Eye poster in it. Did you see this? And so I'm a nerd. And I can see the Magic Eye poster when I look at them just in general. Let's blur our eyes a little bit. Okay, we're crossed. Oh, there's the thing. I can see what it is. And let's pull up Magic Eye poster. And on Schooled, they had a Magic Eye poster that was on the back wall of the principal's office. And they cut to a shot of it. And they're all talking about, I can't see it. Oh, I can see it. It's funny. It's dolphins jumping, right? That's what made me think of this, right? And so I took a freeze of it with my phone, took a shot of it, and looked at it. And it wasn't dolphins jumping. It was people playing soccer, but it was upside down, hanging on the wall upside down. So
That's amazing.
It's gotta be embarrassing for the set dresser.
bunch of jerks.
Yes.
Okay,
It's like,
no Magic Eye poster.
it's like, get your facts straight.
So let's get a dolphin
coincidentally.
This one's like a dolphin right there.
Did you see one already?
I wasn't actually looking at
Oh,
the
you-
magic eye poster.
That right there. Let's take that guy and put him.
Oh, it's already extracted for you.
Put him here. And then put him in here.
What are you doing?
We'll take. Oh no, it's it doesn't have the alpha.
Oh, yeah, maybe, did you say the
Weird.
come in as a PNG or something? You saved it as a JPEG.
We'll go figure it out. Oh, it looks like it's downloaded as a JPEG.
Are you going to have the dolphin jump out of the table?
Yeah. 3D. And scale it up. But we want to make sure that he is rotated correctly and that his anchor point is at the bottom. Like that. And let's just make sure. Save image as.
Why is it not? Let me see.
File type.
Or you just
There. That should do it. Now just replace.
Oh, it's a JPEG of a dolphin over square.
It is.
That's a pretty
It is.
that sucks.
We can get it. We can get it. I know
Yeah,
it's
there's
in.
like, I got a PNG IMG or something what it's called. That's a site where some people upload extracted
Save image
everything
as.
up there.
Yeah, that's a PNG.
Yeah, it's like PNGIMG.com or something like that.
Like that. I'm just gonna right click it and do replace footage
Like
with
this.
file,
Just go there.
and there it is.
Stuff.
Oh,
Oh, that's,
it doesn't seem to be a PNG file. Wonder if it's a JPEG.
Might be like
What'd you guys do all night?
It might
We
be
tried to
like
watch
a-
Trent download Dolphin JPEG,
Yeah.
Dolphin
there's
PNG.
like
you can throw it in
Oh,
Photoshop
yeah.
and use the magic wand.
You could do
like
a
an 8-bit
you could
PNG
filter
file.
for transparent images.
Yeah. Let's do that.
Yeah,
Transparent.
If you get anything that's not terribly close to the white point, you can do the extracting.
You are
So it's just
correct.
one of those squares.
Let's see. Last try. Save image as.
There you go.
PNG.
That looks real.
And go back to After Effects. Replace. That one. And it's giant, gigantic.
it's huge.
Giant, gigantic.
Beautiful.
All right. So now, there we go. That is way better.
That is way better.
If we need to, we can have him rotate to face the camera. There we go.
Beautiful.
So the takeaways here are we tracked this thing and got rid of the track points on the bottle. So when we did the camera solve, that it did a nicer camera solve potentially, and then we had a null or a solid that it dropped in, and I replaced the solid with the table top, and we used the extract here to pull the napkin. So we use the white part of the napkin to pull that, and then use it as an alpha matte so that we get our edge back over here of the napkin. And that is here, inverted alpha. It looks like that when we're done. And then I copied the position, just Command C or edit, copy. Dropped the dolphin in, made it 3D, and pasted the position. So it lined up the right spot on that guy. And we can even move it around a little bit to add a little more depth to it. And let's say we wanted to do a shadow here. We can do a shadow catcher and a light. We could also create 77 text layers. I don't think I want to do that. So I'll do a shadow catcher and a light. Let's see what happens here. So it's supposed to accept shadows only, accept lights is on, and then the tabletop is 3D, so it's probably casting a shadow. So let's do
What's your dolphin cast?
AA. I did AA to twirl down my material options, but I can also, let's see, if something I like using lately is hold Command and twirl down, and it opens every property. Okay. Now you can also just select property like we can twirl that, and then we do material options. Or if we have a shape layer, I want to twirl down the contents, or text animator, we'll twirl down the contents of that without having to drill down everything. And you just hold Command and twirl like that. All right, so then we're going to do accept lights off for the tabletop. We have accept shadows on. And I wonder if we even need a shadow catcher because of that. Accept shadows, we're going to turn that off. We're going to say cast shadows on. That. And our light. Let's maybe try parallel. No. Ambient. Might give us anything. No. Point. A little bit of fall off. No. We do want to do shadow diffusion. Like that. Shadow darkness. Turn that down a great deal. That. And then let's just, for the dolphin, I don't want it to accept the light. I only want it to cast shadow. So here's our other light, and let's see where it is. Let's just move it around, see if we can get a little better look. And then this one, let's do shadow diffusion like 800. That. Then we'll do a RAM preview. never run at full res, but 50% scale, so I'll just drop it to half.
Fish tacos.
Oh, we don't want dolphin tacos, I guess. All right. Any questions? Any thoughts on this?
Nope.
Dolphin was a good ad.
The shadow caster is going to react to the lights dynamically as you're working through the scene. Does it require the solid underneath it to go on ahead and cast to be a recipient?
The shadow catcher is the solid. So it becomes the thing. And really all it is just a solid that has the correct settings set for I only catch a shadow, I don't accept lights. And I think maybe, let's see, is it set up as a multiply? No, it's not. I mean, it's set up as a multiply layer, but we could set it up as a multiply layer.
Because I know one of the other hacks for it would be to go on ahead and take whatever footage that you're working with, lay it down on its side,
Mhm.
or do a distort on it, and then do a
Mhm.
fill and a Gaussian.
Yeah, so we could
make it a little.
we could do that with the dolphin. Let's get rid of the shadow catcher. And so this will be the dolphin shadow. And we need to probably reset some things here. Like rotation. Done. I want it to lay on the table. Like that. And let's see, what do we like? Maybe like that. And then I'm torn. I used to always use the fill to do something like this. So I would do that and then blur it. But the opacity here, this is good, but it doesn't mix with the underlying layer that it's applied to, right? So yeah, so we'll do tint. We can make tint black. So that doesn't have anything to do with what we're doing here, but it's just interesting knowledge to have.
Even with the blend modes, it still doesn't go ahead and pick up.
What do you say?
If you were doing like an overlay setup or something along that sort of line instead of a straight up multiply.
So if I do, the difference here is if I do on my dolphin layer a fill, and I want to, let's just say the scenario here isn't shadow, it's that I want to
Reflection.
put something on top of it, put a color on top of it. Then if I put the fill on it and I reduce the opacity of the fill, it reduces the opacity of the whole layer. But if I want to mix the color, then I can go do a tint. And see, I can mix the tint over top of the dolphin. If I do that right there, and I want to blend it in, I can blend it in. That's the only reason to just start adding tint into your workflow instead of fill. But go ahead.
If you do a fill, you can still, down in your timeline, go to the effect. So if you add a
Let's
fill,
do it. Generate fill.
and then down in the effects in the timeline,
I'll hit E to twirl down my effects.
go to compositing option,
Uh-huh.
and then effect opacity. So you can do it that way, but it's 3 more extra steps.
Well, it's also good though, because if you know this exists, then you can
Do it on
you can multiply things on top of each other, and then if you're using your mask like this, then your mask, instead of being cutting out your layer, use it on your fill here, like that. Is that right?
Oh, it can't be done. It needs to be done.
Oh, it has to be up here. So just really it's just talking about how many possible ways you can do something in After Effects, layering up your effects, layering up different techniques for doing those effects. But for this one, we're going to do that, and we will decrease opacity and do a blur. So we'll look at a couple of different blurs here. This is just the fast box blur, and it does a good job. It took the place of fast blur, combined fast blur and box blur. How about that? And then something I like to do is create a shape layer that has a gradient on it. Just double click here. And if I do my opacity to 0, I can go like this. Call this depth of, well, that's not depth of field. This is shadow diffusion map. And on the dolphin shadow, I will apply a compound blur. With the compound blur, select shadow diffusion map and invert it like that. So now it's going to blur more the further it is away from the dolphin, or the further the dolphin is away from the table, right? And then we can change where the gradient points are. Let's just make sure what we're working with. So I want that probably better if I do that. So the transition will be a lot more smooth. Like that. Does that make sense? It's a good way to do a tilt shift effect as well. So we could put on top of this, let's do another gradient like that. This tilt shift map. And put a solid, we'll just make an adjustment layer on top of this. F4, make an adjustment layer, put on the camera lens blur. And my tilt shift map is going to be what I use to get the tilt shift. Okay, so there we go, and I can repeat edge pixels, which helps me out. Now with my map here, I'll put white in the center. No, put black in the center and white on the edges. Oi. There we go. Maybe that's a little much. That. Make sure the dolphin's in there. We could even, because I want the dolphin to look like it's the right spot on the table, just take the dolphin and lift him above everything like that in my layer stack.
Pretty cool. Amazing. What you can do with just a piece of iPhone.
It's all tricks and hacks, but you know, it's all right. All right. Any other thoughts on this?
That went swimmingly.
Yes. Very well played, sir. We could even just apply the tilt shift to the bottle footage. But the tip of the bottle goes out. We don't like that. Any thoughts? Does this raise any questions for anybody? No? Well, good. You want me to set up content aware fill so we can spend the last 30 minutes watching it analyze footage?
Yeah.
No? Okay, good. I'm so glad you guys don't want to do that. Let's see. I did want to mention.
I guess you were joking about that Game of Thrones footage, right?
What do you mean?
You said didn't you say something about the Game of Thrones?
Oh, I mean, I can show you what
Yeah.
they did.
No, I thought you really were gonna like download some footage from that.
Oh no, I don't think they made it.
That'd be a
I
fun
don't think they
one
made
for
it
monthly,
available.
Replace the Starbucks cup in Game of Thrones with something more.
Last week on Game of Thrones,
No.
heroes were blown away by the scope of the Battle of Winterfell. This week, the shock was seemingly the lack of attention.
People get bloody murdered. They stay that way. Not this one.
Okay, last night's episode.
People get bloody murdered.
Oh, there's the coffee cup over there. You see it?
Not this one.
All right. So
Is it
here's
possible that
Where?
a compositor dropped
Where?
money in?
it
just as a
is
joke?
right here. See it?
They stay that way. Not this one.
All right. So here's another plug for using your terminal. I'm gonna select the URL up there. And I'm gonna change. No, I don't need to change that. I'll just do YouTube DL, and I'll put the URL in there. And this little app runs off and finds it.
Now, is that used FFmpeg to do that, or?
Okay, so what do you install to get that to happen?
On the Mac, you install Homebrew, and then it comes with a bunch of formula that you can install.
Okay.
It makes installing FFmpeg really easy. If you're on a Windows machine, you have to jump through a little bit more hoops to get FFmpeg installed.
Okay.
So then it downloaded that and put it in right there, and it's already an MP4.
What size?
Let's drop it in here. Looks like it is 1920 by 1080.
Hmm.
And
Because there's tons of sites where you can, and extensions where you can download YouTube footage, but it always usually does it like 720p or
oh yeah,
it never seems to do it. You have to, they want you to buy their plug-in or whatever.
oh yeah. Okay, so I'm not condoning using YouTube DL to go rip a bunch of content off of YouTube, but in order to do our example here, I'm going to hit in here for my out point of my work area, and then I'm going to do Shift Command X, and I'm going to do layer pre-compose, and we'll move all attributes and adjust time. We'll call this coffee cup pre-comp. So now I just have this piece of footage to work with, right? And I don't think there's much to do over here. Like that. Do none, and we'll just make sure that it is tracked okay. Do mask path keyframe. Scoot that over. Let's see if I can get back in frame. Let's go up like that. And then we can even probably use the footage itself to do a little cutout. Oh. Not what I wanted. No, there we go. All right. Yeah, we're tracked okay. We'll do subtract. We'll do go here. Let's say maybe there. Do generate fill layer. We're gonna see what this guy can do. There is a little bit of workflow where you create your own fill layer. I'll recommend that you go take a look at that. I don't know all the ins and outs on that yet. I'll also show you that this folder is created called fills, and this guy will fill up with all of your images. Okay, so just know that
Is that
that folder is created.
sitting outside your project, or is that in some preferences as well?
Yeah, it is inside the project folder next
Okay.
next to
Right
the
next to it.
next to the project file.
Okay.
And then so this is the bottle ProRes file, and it creates PNGs, so they have an alpha. There was a little bit of a thing going on around the After Effects Facebook page, our Dallas After Effects user group Facebook page, about instead of using PNG files, using Targa files, especially if you're doing a render to an image sequence, because Targa files have the alpha channel. I think they're going to be larger files than a PNG file would be, but they require less compression and decompression when you're saving them out and when you're loading them. And I actually think it saves time to use them. All right, so you can see that that did not work. Ta-da!
That's why they didn't fix it.
There's no coffee cup there.
I think we should make a dolphin
It
come out of
did
his
get out of the coffee cup.
wine flute thing.
Although it replaced it with 3
Man, it's-
hamsters in a
That's
satchel.
that's amazingly dark shot. I don't know how people notice that, you know?
Yeah.
I need to track in hamsters.
Now, if only there were some extensions to remove some of Game of Thrones' other
Problematic elements.
content.
Yeah. So I wonder if, I don't know if we could go here and say, grab our fill here and delete that. Go over here and delete that because you're going to eat up a bunch of disk space. Let's see if I can load up Photoshop. All right, so I would go here and say create reference frame. Like that. And let's see if it created something here. There's my reference frame. Let's open that in Photoshop. Finder. All right. My reference frame came with the mask on it. I wonder if I need to go back here and take the mask off and create a reference frame. Won't let me open that in the editor. Do that. Okay, there it is. And let's just load up the stamp brush. Paint it out a little bit. Save it. And now this is going to be exciting to see if it actually does it. You're watching this live and unfiltered, everybody.
We're doing a live edit.
Here it's generating the frames. This does not look promising, guys. I wonder if the reference frame needs to fill the whole thing. Layer time freeze frame. let's see. Get this reveal in layer source project. Get rid of that guy. Am I supposed to select them? Maybe not. Subtract. Is it showing me? Interesting. All right. Let's try one more time. The last go for this one. Content aware fill has been aborted. All right. Look, that's even better. Yeah, I'll have to do a little research on the reference frame situation. Unless anybody has any input on that.
No, I hadn't tried
No.
that yet.
Okay. You're welcome.
Thank you.
We learned.
All right. So now you know how to not do reference frame in content aware fill. You're welcome for that too. So I think that is about it for tonight. Congratulations, Dr. Smith.
Mm-hmm.
Congratulations to everyone who participated.
Yes, and like we said, if anybody else out there would like to do the same thing, feel free.
Feel free to submit. You may not win a prize, but at least
It will still be extraordinarily cool, or well, hot as the case may be.
and you might be able to, let's see, on the After Effects user group account, you could be one of 8 subscribers.
What?
Eight people could see your content. Eight whole human beings.
And if you post it
I
to
might be one of the.
I'm one of them too.
Let's see this list too.
And if you post it to Facebook, a whole lot more.
Yeah, a lot. Where do we see the subscribers? Can we get a look at the list? I don't know.
I don't think it tells you.
It's not going to tell me. So
I'm sure I'm one.
eight whole people.
Yeah,
Now I did have like 72 subscribers
all
on
PewDiePie's
the other,
subscribers here.
but this is so you guys know that we are actually continuing to post.
I did have.
Yeah. What you want to do is play me out loud so I can hear me. Again, it makes me very excited.
So what's the most views you've got?
I don't know.
27?
This one got 27 views. That's not too bad.
That's not bad.
The other, let's see, I've got a playlist here. Nope, we don't want to play it. We'll look at all of the, so all of these guys, going back to, I don't know, it's like 2017, something like that. Hi there, this 573 views, that's not so bad. And then,
Remember when you're on?
8 views, good.
Remember when you were on the
That one has
Adobe
33
groups? Remember those Adobe groups that was the original.
The original website.
Remember that?
Yeah,
It's-
man.
I don't know. It's difficult to navigate to.
Long time ago.
Yeah.
Long time ago. They used to have really engaging names like May 26. 19 people looked at that one. That one was really exciting too because we did we're in the theater and we did
Oh yeah, I remember this.
the mask on my face.
I've always loved clowns. Good.
Oh,
Glad somebody else agrees. Thank
what's
goodness.
There's a movie coming out.
Yes, you have.
We're making a movie called Clown NATO.
No way, really?
Blue Hunter.
All right.
Yeah, look at the trailer for it was crazy. Anyway, yeah, they come out of a little tornado type thing and they torment people. So if you like float clowns, this could be for you then.
I really just, it's, Stephen King wrote a stupid book to perpetuate a stupid fear.
Yeah.
He really did.
Well, at any rate, we have loads. Loads. Hey, that's not too bad. We have loads of content in the playlist that you can access at the Dallas After Effects user group channel, which I will go ahead and post again to the Facebook page.
Hey, you want to know something crazy? But true? Okay, I can purposely look up images of clowns that are actually supposed to be scary and not be affected at all.
Remember
Three of
those
Right.
videos we've done.
As far as actual clowns go, I think they
Through
are so cute.
Yeah. Anyway.
All right,
Native.
there you go.
Oh, you're
All the content through the years.
It's terrible.
Go check it out. And I highly recommend. Oh no, that looks pretty dumb. Clown NATO. Okay, I highly recommend joining the group, the After Effects user group page here. Actually, it's not a page; it's a group. And going and checking out the playlist for all the meetings. It's right there, just one playlist. And we'll look forward to seeing you guys here next time because it's way more fun to be here in person. And sometimes,
obviously, you get a prize.
sometimes you get to win prizes, right?
Win stuff.
Yeah. So thank you, everybody. Take care, and we will see you on the flip side.
See you.